Storytime. Thank you for joining, ladies and gentlemen. So some time ago, I actually posted a story on TikTok basically explaining that anesthesia has the tendency to be a truth serum. So when you come out of surgery and you had that anesthesia sitting in your body, in your system, doing its thing, it takes some time for it to actually work its way out your system. And that's why a lot of our discharge instructions say, don't operate any machinery. Do not make any real big decisions today. Don't do anything strenuous. You're gonna be super forgetful. Just chill, let it work its way out. Well, on TikTok, I had told you guys that this one patient basically told her husband that she was considering killing him because she thought that he cheated on her.
One of the things that I noticed right away was how rehearsed everything she said seemed to be. There were a lot of statements that she made in the interview room that were just verbatim, just word for word what she had said on the plane. Even some of her hand movements. It was like she had been practicing this story, and that struck me as really odd.
And then she's cackling away as she's just shooting out confession after confession because she was real loose at the mouth. Well, today's story is very similar. So switch to a male patient coming out. He recently had some sort of orthopedic surgery and it was my patient. And I'm getting him settled, I'm taking his vitals, and he wasn't really like zonked. He was drowsy, but not like out, obviously, because he was chit-chatting and he was talking to everybody. And at one point, when he had recognized that I was there at the bedside, mind you, I had already introduced myself, but anesthesia, as I was saying before, makes you super forgetful. And during these recovery stages after surgery, these patients ask the same questions over and over, and you can thank anesthesia for that. So he sees me probably for the 7th time and he's like,
"Oh my God, you are gorgeous."
And he just keeps saying the same thing. Mind you, his wife is there. And the first few times that he said it, she laughed it off. I'm not acknowledging it. Anytime he'd say it, I'd either not respond or I would say, your vitals are looking good. We're getting closer and closer to letting you go home. Professionally speaking, you just don't give in to that kind of stuff. You don't pay it any attention. You don't feed it. So then he looks at his wife as I'm writing down the vital signs, making sure that the EKG strip looks good. We're not seeing any strange things. I'm minding my business, but also doing my job. Until he says to his wife,
"You know, there was one time. This was, I think, the first time I cheated on you. I really regretted it. But every time after that, I was fine."
So my pen stopped writing. I became mesmerized with one spot on my paper, on my documentation.
Try and keep your head and your eyes perfectly stationary and stare at the dot.
In a lot of surgery centers, there's not a whole lot of electronic documentation. It's all paper, okay? And I'm just stuck on the same spot. And she laughs initially and she was like,
"You're not serious. You never cheated on me."
And so he was like,
Nope, I definitely did a few times. There was this one lady, I think her name was Beth.
She said,
"Beth? Our son's kindergarten teacher?"
I became an art teacher because I really feel as though I have a purpose that's more than just teaching them about art. It's being present, being aware, and being a part of their growth.
Yo, I was so young. This was so long ago. I was frozen in the spot. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to breathe correctly. I was mortified. I wanted to sink into the ground. And he was like,
"Really? That's the kindergarten teacher? Are you sure?"
And then he just starts cracking up. He starts talking about his toes. He starts talking about some other weird stuff. And then he goes right back to the next time he cheated on her. And so then now she has her arms crossed and she was like,
"Yes. Tell us about all the times you disrespected your wife and the mother of your children."
Why so serious? It's not that serious. It's been a long time since I cheated anyways.
And then he looks at me and he was like,
"You're next."
Oh my God. Oh my gosh. I was like, you know what? I think it's actually been long enough. You know, I think you can go. You can go. And she was like,
Well, you can find somebody else to take him home because it's not gonna be me.
I was like, oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh. So I have to go tell my supervisor. I was like, we have a little bit of a pickle. We have a little bit of a situation. He's still super drowsy. He hasn't even really been out of surgery. I, let it fall out my mouth. Like, y'all, you could just take him now. Take him. Because I was so uncomfortable. But obviously it was too early. Clearly, this truth serum is doing its thing. So she basically says, my supervisor,
We can't kick him out, and we can't obviously force her to take him, but we do have to discuss with her that at this point, she is responsible for him, and that anything that they would like to do beyond this, it's between the two of them.
I say you can go ahead and tell her that. As you get better and better at your job, specifically as a nurse, you somehow also get more and more comfortable with confrontation. And it's because you are familiar and confident enough in your job to be able to say certain things to certain people. Me, at that time, being so fresh in the nursing world, I was like, I'm not telling anybody any of that. You go talk to her. That turns into a whole fiasco. Fast forward, homeboy is stuck here, okay? And by the time he comes to even more, and the supervisor finally fills him in on the catastrophe that he caused, he was mortified. He had no recollection of saying any of that. None. Needless to say, he had to call a relative, a few friends, try to see if he can figure some things out. Somebody had to come get him because legally we could not send this man on his own away with anesthesia still in his system. Whew, sheesh. Moral of the story. If you have a heap of secrets, either confess that shiitake mushrooms to whomever is coming to get you before, figure out a way, go to therapy, work through that shit, or take it with you to your grave and don't let anybody close to you come pick you up from surgery. The end. Thank you for joining. And make sure you tune in to Epstein Street. Go take a look at my novels. You know what I'm saying. Check your girl out.
Are you sure you want to go through with this, Chi-Chi? I'd hate to split up a happy home.
Listen, my Goku would never cheat on me, especially after the way I put it on him.
Bet you crazy.
Huh?
Send her in, Bubbles.
I really want your sign.
I know you want it. But it belongs to my wife, Chi-Chi.
Aw, my Goku. Told you, King Kai, my Goku would never cheat on you.
No!
Huh? Where'd they go?
Like I was saying, I'm married. And you're married.
Yes, it's for the best.
Ninja saying sounds cool, but,